Whiton, a former State Department senior advisor for the George W. Bush administration and the author of the book Smart Power Between Diplomacy and War. Christian, good to have you along tonight. You know, this is really unprecedented, this effort, 25 countries involved. You don't want to think it, but some of them might not have the purest motives.
No, not necessarily, although the cooperation has been pretty good from most of those countries involved. Malaysia, though, the most important country for the time being, may be the weak link. There were a lot of mixed signals from that government, an effort, it seems, to divert attention away from what is now a more likely possibility that someone on the plane, that it was a hijacking or that it was a crew involvement. And Malaysia is a bit of a pseudo-democracy, so you were seeing some of the effects of a government that's not terribly transparent and that's not terribly good at dealing with the public.
You know, it's interesting, a pseudo-democracy. The other thing I've heard you talk about is the fact that the track of the 9/11 hijackers went through that country.
Right, of course, and this is a part of the world that does have an issue with Islamism or jihadism, whatever you want to call it. Next door in Indonesia, you had the Bali bombings. You've had other terrorist groups active. However, you know, what is being looked at is the possible political motivation of the captain, if the captain was a culprit in this. It seems unlikely. Anwar Ibrahim, the jailed opposition leader in Malaysia, his followers generally tend not to be Islamists, so it's hard to sort of say that that's a likely cause.
You know, I'm curious about our role in the world right now. You know, the kind of pressure that America can realistically, diplomatically press on some of these countries, including Malaysia. Your thoughts on that?
Well, we have substantial tools still at our disposal, and this is one thing. If you look at the assets that are being used most, it is the U.S. Navy and to an extent our Air Force as well that's really being called upon to do a lot of the searching and a lot of the aerial reconnaissance. That will change in the years ahead unless we change past, because if you look at procurement in the military, and that's something that China pays a lot of attention to, everyone really, our presence forward in the world, especially in the Pacific, will decline going forward.
What role might the U.S. State Department be able to try to play right now to raise the airline travel security standards for other countries? Because apparently Malaysia was not, involved in the manner in which it should have been in Interpol. I'm bringing up the stolen passports. It wasn't flagged in their system. And just keeping our people safe as they travel abroad.
Right, we have considerable tools at our disposal. They're a little bit blunt, so you may not want to use them right up front, but we can deny permission for a nation's carrier to fly to the U.S. We could say that all airplanes departing certain airports cannot fly directly to the U.S. Likely Malaysia would want to cooperate and want to plug these holes in its system without having to blunt force. So hopefully, more just gentle diplomacy at first, but we do have considerable tools to cause compliance if we need to.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. Hopefully they'd want to do it because it's the right thing to do is what I believe you're saying there, Christian. Would you sit by for just a second? We have another story that is breaking tonight, and I want to bring you